With spring comes lots of garden fresh vegetables.
And if you love asparagus, you'll want to check out Fine Cooking Magazine's latest edition. It features 10 recipes that only take 10 minutes to make.
Back with us today is senior editor Denise Mickelsen. Welcome back, Denise.
Thank you so much.
We're so looking forward to this. We both love
this
asparagus.
is a great segment because it's the time of year. People are cooking asparagus more often.
Well, and in the supermarket, it's everywhere. In the farmers markets, at this time of year, I try to eat it as much as possible. But you don't want to get bored. So we came up with 10 different recipes. As you said, take 10 minutes to make so that you never get bored. You just eat asparagus all spring.
I love that.
Well, let's start with at the grocery store.
At the grocery store. So what you want to look for, these recipes are timed for thick, meaty asparagus. The thin ones are mainly skin, you know, if you think about the surface area. So what you want is a nice, meaty, thicker asparagus so that there's a lot of flesh in there. And you want the skin to be smooth and tight. If there's any ribbing or, you know, it looks old and dried out, it's past its prime. Leave it alone. So we go for thick, and then trimming, right? How do you guys trim your asparagus?
I chop mine with a knife right at the end.
Okay.
I break mine.
Well, you can do it either way. Now, the fun thing to do is kind of to snap it, right? So, but look, you lost. That's a lot of tender
that happens
asparagus.
a lot to me.
Yeah, and so you lose half of it. So what you can do is when it starts to taper, you know, right about there, you kind of feel it. There's a little bit of give. You can chop half of a bunch at a time, and that's, now you have all that nice asparagus to eat, and the woody bottom part, you know, you can just throw away. Yeah. Well, you could actually simmer them in water and make an asparagus stock.
Really?
For asparagus soup, you know, cream of asparagus
Getting
soup.
the most
you could
of
do
our
that.
asparagus, aren't we?
Or you could just throw it away or compost it, whatever. So what we're going to do, there's a million ways you can cook asparagus. You can grill it, you can broil it, saute it, you can eat it raw. You can shave it with a vegetable peeler and make a salad.
Wow.
Or even better, we're going to make a raw asparagus pesto.
Great.
Okay? So all you need is a food processor. We've got a clove of garlic in here that I just pulsed to chop up. We've got our trimmed asparagus. This is 3/4 of a pound, cut into 1-inch pieces. Throw that in there. We're going to throw in half a cup of grated parm. Parmesan is asparagus's best friend. They love each other. Love each other. Then we've got extra virgin olive oil. We've got toasted pine nuts. Nuts are really good with asparagus. And we've got a little bit of fresh oregano, but use your favorite herb. Use mint, use parsley, use tarragon. Tarragon and asparagus are very good too. Oh, wait, and salt. Salt, you gotta have a nice hit of salt, and black pepper. It's always better if you freshly grind it. It just has more punch that way. So we're gonna do that, throw it all in there, and pulse. This is your pesto. You're essentially done.
And it gets into a really smooth consistency?
No, actually, this is a rustic kind of chunky thing. You know, this isn't really refined cooking. This is simple weeknight, yummy flavors.
Is that something you'd serve over pasta or more on bread or
both? So I brought some bread, and we can give it a try. So you could do this as a snack. You could do it as a appetizer if you have people coming over. You can toss it with pasta. Okay, there we go. We're done. Look at that. I think that is truly beautiful.
All I need is a food processor.
That's all you need. It's got this beautiful green color.
Now, if you don't have a food processor, can you use a blender?
You could. You know, it might be a little harder to pull through a blender, but if you have a good blender, that could work.
Okay.
So this is so simple. We learned something in the test kitchen. See this beautiful color? You can keep this for a week. If you put plastic wrap directly on the surface, keep it in your fridge,
plan
it'll last a
ahead
week.
then. Not bad.
It's like, you know, a great recipe to have in your back pocket. So we can put it on crostini with a little bit of prosciutto on it. We'll do that. You can toss it on pasta. You can use it instead of mayonnaise on a sandwich. As a sandwich spread, lots of uses. And it's raw. I mean, how quick was that?
That's better for you, too.
Right?
Exactly.
Now, what is this baked dish we have here?
So this is one of the other recipes in the story. This is a gratin with mascarpone. Do you guys know what that is? It's an Italian-style cream cheese. You can get it in the cheese section of any supermarket. This is what it looks like, actually, right here. And it's a little bit looser than the Philly style you put on your bagels, so it's really great for cooking. So this is so simple, and it's, I mean, I would serve this to company in a second. You take your asparagus, cut into 1-inch pieces, toss it with a little onion, oil, salt, and pepper. Broil it for 6 minutes. It's going to get nice and tender. While it's broiling, mix some breadcrumbs with oil, a little Parmesan cheese, of course, for flavor, salt and pepper. When it comes out, dollop the mascarpone on top, sprinkle with the breadcrumbs, put a little nutmeg on there, a little freshly grated nutmeg, pop it back in the broiler for 2 minutes.
And this is what you get.
And this is what you
Quick
get.
And
How
easy.
beautiful.
I like
Can you
this.
smell that?
Yes,
Yeah, it smells so
fantastic.
good. And you don't think of asparagus in a gratin, but it's perfect for it.
Well, this is one I've been eyeing.
And this is beautiful. Have you ever had asparagus with oranges? It's a delicious
I don't know
combination.
about that combination.
It is so good. It's really fresh. So this is a simple salad. We microwaved this asparagus. This is so cool. You take the asparagus, you trim it, leave it whole. These are nice, long, beautiful pieces. Put them in a loaf pan, like a Pyrex glass loaf pan with a little water, a little oil and salt. Toss it together. Throw it in the microwave for 5 minutes on high, and you've got plump. It really plumps up. It gets nice and green, and it's crisp tender. While that's nuking, you chop up some pistachios. You make some Parmesan curls, of course, Parmesan again, just using your vegetable peeler on the hunk of Parm. And then you put the asparagus on the plate, you tear some prosciutto over the top,
and it's
put down your
pretty.
oranges, and you don't even need to make a vinaigrette. You just drizzle a little of the orange juice and a little oil over the top, pepper, done. How
done.
pretty is that?
I love it. Denise, we're out of time, but thank you so much for all of the suggestions.
We love
My
it.
pleasure.
Of course, you can find them all at WTNH.com. We're going to taste this at the end of the show as well. And up next, we'll meet Candy and tell you about the Connecticut Draft Horse Rescue. That's when Connecticut Style returns. Don't go anywhere.